Welcome to How You Pictured It, the podcast for creative entrepreneurs ready to grow their business in a way that feels good. Here you'll find actionable tips and tools to create the business and life you pictured. I'm your host, Kate Hyde with Dear Kate Brand Strategy. Let's get started. All right, we've got a really big topic today, which is websites, but we're going to break it down and really make it pretty simple for us to walk through a quick audit of the current website we have and see what's working and what's not. Through my 11 years as a photographer, I've had so many different websites and I've built them all myself. I've been on WordPress with ProPhoto. I've been on WordPress with a Divi theme. I've done other websites that I can't even remember, and then Squarespace. And finally, I landed on Showit. I absolutely love Showit. It is a wonderful platform for websites and makes it really easy for you to design something that is exactly what you want. You can drag and drop elements. You can put things wherever you want them on the page. And it's really a robust platform that's easy to understand, easy to use, and so diverse. Really, you cannot look at a website and assume that it is a Showit website necessarily, whereas when I was on Squarespace, I felt like it was pretty clear that every website that you were looking at was a Squarespace website. The platform really isn't the most important thing we're going to talk about today, though. Let's get into what the purpose of a website is. A website is there as a home base for your business. It's a place where potential clients can go, current clients can go, past clients can go to get information about your business. As photographers, we really typically don't have a storefront and we don't have a place where someone could stop in and ask a question. So our website is really that home base on the internet. So first, let's get into what our website needs to do. Our website needs to answer some really basic major questions. The first question is, what do you do? And yes, you're a photographer. You have to be pretty explicit with that. And the better you explain it and the more clear you can explain that, the more likely someone's going to hire you. We really want to avoid kind of flowery language and vague language around what we do. We want to use the words that our potential clients are using. They're going to say you're a photographer, not a portrait artist. Sorry, but that's just the truth of it. And that's what they're going to understand. So question number 1, what do you do? Question number 2, who do you do it for? When someone lands on your website, you want them to say, yes, this is for me. This person is talking to me. The more you can get into the head of that potential client and understand what their needs are and who they are, the more likely you are going to be to book them. A lot of this is going to be copywriting, but some of it is just the imagery, the styling, the aesthetic of your website, and how easy it is to navigate for them. And then the third major question is, how do you do that thing you do for that person that you do it for differently than other people? What makes you special? What makes you stand out? What need are you filling for that person in their life? Now with this, I do think it's easy to fall into the trap of talking about yourself, but really you want to talk about that person and how you're helping them. So those are the 3 major questions that I want you to check that your homepage and really every page of your website hits on. What do you do? Who do you do it for? And how do you do that thing differently? Now that we've got those 3 big bases covered, I do want to touch on a few more things that you can check your website for and make sure that they're working properly and clearly. Number 1, is your location present on every page and easy to see and understand? I personally hate when I go to a website and I cannot figure out if that person is near me. Same goes for your social media channels too. Make sure your location is present on every page, everywhere, so that people know where you're located and if you're even a possibility for them to work with. Number 2, let's talk about your about page. I want you to avoid using your about page to talk about your favorite color, what you do in the mornings, how much coffee you drink. Let's get away from that. Let's talk more about the person that's landing on the page and what you can do for them. You can use some of those fun facts to talk about how you'd relate to them, how your background and your history can help them. But really, this page is not about you. It's about your client and about the service that you provide. Number 3, your contact page. If you're using a contact form, that's great. I love embedded contact forms, especially if you have one embedded from your CRM. Save yourself some time, make things automated, use those tools that are available, but also make sure your actual email address is on that page. Make sure that people have a way to contact you outside of that form, because sometimes they're not going to want to use that form. Maybe they're not trying to book a session. Maybe they're trying to get different information from you, and the form is not really appropriate. So make sure that you have your actual email address on your contact page in addition to whatever kind of contact form you're using. Number 4, does your navigation work? Make sure you're going through periodically and checking on your website to make sure that all of those menus work, to make sure that links are still active, and that you're not sending people on a wild goose chase to get the information that they need. And that feeds us exactly into number 5, which is to have some friends and family that are not in your industry field test your website for you. Give them those 3 main questions of what do I do, who do I do it for, and what makes me different? And see if they can answer those questions for you when they land on your website. It's always so important to field test your work and make sure that everything works the way that you thought it would, and that the process that you thought people would go through to find things on your website is exactly how someone is physically using it. All right, we're going to keep it to those 5 quick things that you can check on your own website to make sure that you are attracting the right clients and that your website is functioning properly so that they'll turn around and book with you. I'm trying to keep this from being overwhelming because websites really are a huge part of our business, but I have 2 more things that I want to share with you. The first is a tool called Hotjar. It's a program that you can install. They do have a trial or like a free subscription to start with. Basically, you put a code in the header section of your website, and this program will show you screen recordings of people landing on your website. So you can see how people are clicking through and moving through your website and the journey that they're taking when they land there, what's causing them to leave, and what the real user experience looks like from real users. I'll put the link for Hotjar in the show notes for you. Second, I'd be doing you a disservice if I didn't mention that my copy coach, Ashlyn Carter with Ashlyn Writes, is launching currently her course, Copywriting for Creatives. I took this course back in 2018. It made such a huge difference for me in understanding how to talk to my target clients and really tell story and bring them in to my business and get them understanding what I was doing, why I was doing it, so that we were on the same page and really building a deep relationship. That lasts for years, right? I have clients that I've had for the past 10 years, and it's so important to be able to communicate with people and let them know that that's really what you want, that you want that relationship. You want more than just customers. You want to be a part of their family and part of their story. I will put a link in the show notes for Copywriting for Creatives. Again, it's a wonderful program. And in fact, I based a lot of how I'm structuring my new program on how Ashlyn runs her courses. The cart is open from October 6th through October 13th. Grab that link there, which leads me into my new program. If you want more help with your website, and maybe you're planning on starting a brand new website this year or doing a total teardown, I'm putting together a new group program that's going to start in early November. We'll walk through week by week, teaching you how to build your own Showit website so that you have the tools that you need every time you need to make updates or changes. You really get the control of how that website looks and what it does. Personally, I love building websites, but some of the tech stuff can get overwhelming and hard to figure out when you're trying to do things on your own. With this group program, my idea is that we'll be working together. I'll be live walking you through each part of the process and giving you a roadmap to follow to build your own website. We'll be doing this as a small group program with about 3 to 7 people. This will allow you to have feedback from your peers and suggestions and ideas from other people, as well as my guidance and coaching. I think it can be so beneficial as solopreneurs to have that kind of sounding board every time we're working on something big like this. If this is something you're interested in, send me a DM over on Instagram or TikTok at Dear Kate Brand Strategy, or shoot me an email at kate@dearkatestudios.com. I look forward to hearing from you. I hope this episode of How You Pictured It has been helpful for you to give your website an audit and look at what maybe needs to change and what's working well for you. Like we discussed in the beginning of the episode, your website is really the face of your business out in the world. All right, that's it for today. If you found this helpful, please leave a rating or review over on whatever podcast player you're listening in. I'd love to hear from you, and I cannot wait to talk to you again next week. Bye.